So Elon Musk has, of course, become a massive joke to anybody and everybody with a brain. And I'm sure you guys saw, it was maybe a month ago now, something like that. He was virtue signaling all over Twitter and standing up to the big bad Brazilian government, bro. Authoritarian Brazilian government, bro. And the reason why he was really mad at them is because they have a different system there, and there are these rules and these court decisions around the spread of online misinformation and disinformation, right? And I don't know how many of you remember this, but in Brazil, they had their own January 6th, where, you had the Bolsonaro supporters storm the government and do fuck all sorts of shit up. And the difference is, in Brazil, they looked at that and they go, okay, not going to allow it. Law and order cracking down on this bullshit now, right? In the U.S., with our First Amendment and our Constitution, it's a very lax, hands-off approach. I mean, they did go after plenty of the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, but there's not much you could do about just people who believe conspiracies or spread conspiracies and lie online about Trump won the election or whatever, right? But in Brazil, they're like, nah, we're not playing that shit. We're cracking down on the misinformation. So they had, I believe it was six or seven accounts that were purposely spreading completely, utterly false information, Stop to Steal Garbage, but the Brazil edition of it. And a court was like, okay, Elon, you own Twitter. You're spreading misinformation. It's leading to negative social ills, having a downstream social effect, which is deleterious to our country. You are going to pull these accounts down. They're banned under Brazilian law. Pull them down. That's when he goes out, bro, I'm the free speech guy, bro. I believe in free speech, bro. I believe. So that's his whole posture. Now, anybody who fell for that, anybody, is a fucking moron. I say that because Elon already has a track record. I don't know how many of you know this. When Modi, the far-right Hindu fascist in India, told Elon to pull accounts, you go, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Here. I love your right-wing politics. Here, sir. When Erdogan in Turkey did it, same thing. Oh, of course. Remember, Elon came out and said, we follow the law in every country. That's how we are governing Twitter. So he was following the law in these right-wing authoritarian countries, listening to the right-wing authoritarian leaders, pulling down the accounts they wanted to. But in Brazil, oh, would you look at that? Lula is the president. He's a left-winger. And the courts are cracking down on the misinformation. And no, I believe in freedom of speech. Weird. It's freedom of speech when it's right-wing misinformation. But when it's left-wing stuff, all of a sudden, no concern about freedom of speech, pull down the accounts. We don't want to upset these right-wing authoritarian governments. Total fraud. You can't take a guy seriously when he says, I'm for free speech, but he banned a lot of journalists who reported shit he didn't like. That's who Elon is, okay? Well, now, after a standoff, if you can call it that, with the Brazilian government, after making I will never concede, a couple weeks later, tail between his legs. Okay, fine, I give in. All right, here we go. Let me summarize exactly how Elon showed his entire ass. Brazil asked Elon to ban 7 fascist accounts spreading disinformation. Elon refused, pretending it was a free speech issue, even though he complied multiple times with similar requests from right-wing governments. Brazil ordered Elon to explain himself via a lawyer. Elon refused again. Brazil shut down X, fined him, and took Starlink money to pay for the fines. Elon relentlessly attacked and threatened the judge who ordered it, posting hundreds of times about him. Threads and Blue Sky started picking up millions of new users, and Elon began losing even more advertisers. Elon gave in and gave Brazil everything it wanted, blocking the accounts and paying all fines, gained literally nothing, and Elon hasn't said a word about it. To which we respond, this is the very famous, masterful, oop, ha ha ha, that Elon. He may not be perfect as you fly through the windshield, but he's a dreamer, and I can't help but respect that. Masterful gambit, sir. Oh, he's so humiliating. Look, if he just never talked about politics and just fucking rode off into the sunset trying to build some more rockets or some shit, he'd have an 80% approval rating, everybody would love him, and he'd die a happy man. Instead, he decided to get online brainworms, become a hyper-partisan freak, suck off Trump, take over Twitter and make every wrong decision imaginable, and humiliate himself on the world stage. You're going to try to take on a government? Bro, governments have 17,000 ways to Sunday to get back at your dumb ass. You're going to try to take on a government? The second they pulled down Twitter, the other, social media sites started blowing up, and they were taking the Starlink money. All of a sudden, it was like, fuck. And then an advertiser saw how standoffish Elon was being with Brazil, and more advertisers fled. It's checkmate, bitch. They got you. They got you. Now, if you resisted the urge to virtue signal in the first place, you wouldn't have been here, right? Now, look, if you want to say, and I think this is perfectly fair, if you say, well, hold on now, Kyle, I don't agree. I think he should have told Modi of India to fuck off when he told him to censor stuff. I think he should have told Erdogan to fuck off when he told him to censor stuff. I think he should have told others to fuck off when they told him to censor stuff. And I think he should have told Brazil to fuck off when they told him to censor stuff. I would say to you, I totally agree. I totally agree. I would have had no problem if he was consistent with that approach and actually was fighting for free speech or whatever, right? 100% agreement. I'm on the same page. But the thing is, if you do start complying with the government requests from right-wing governments, well then yeah, you better fucking suck it up and do the same thing when it's a left-wing government that has some requests for you. You either comply with the law in all the different places or you take a principled stand in every place and say no free speech, right? That's it. That's it. But of course, he's Elon. He's a fucking idiot. He had to contradict himself immediately, make a fool of himself, virtue signal, and then faceplant. So anyway, embarrassing, as everything is with this guy nowadays. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.